Few news stories captivate the public more than reports that stars may have done something wrong. Michael Jackson accused of child molestation. Chris Brown charged with abuse. Headlines like these are as memorable as they are polarizing, largely because of the courtroom outcomes they ultimately spawn. Outcomes orchestrated in many cases by a man named Mark Geragos. Tonight, ABC's David Wright sits down with the lawyer to the stars.
He's a celebrity lawyer, not just because his client roster includes so many famous names.
See what my luck is.
Chris Brown, for instance.
Oh
man, crap's first thing out. Look at that.
Still on probation for beating his girlfriend, Rihanna.
Thank you, man, for everything.
No, Mark Geragos is a celebrity lawyer in the sense that he's one of the best-known trial lawyers in the country.
I don't believe that he's responsible.
Famous for defending the infamous, including Scott Peterson.
Do you really believe Scott Peterson was innocent?
Okay,
Really?
Look, I will tell you, I'm not even sure in that case that there was a murder committed.
Geragos famously lost that case. His client now on death row for killing his pregnant wife, Lacey Peterson. A crime so vile, it cost Geragos his most famous client, Michael Jackson.
Do you regret choosing Scott Peterson over Michael Jackson?
But I was already so heavily invested in Peterson. It was a death penalty case. I did not want to drop the client.
He said, you got to choose here.
Right, and I think if you're Michael at that point, and I understood it and I told him, look, I'm not going to dump one client for another. If you're not comfortable, you've got to do what you've got to do.
Jackson went on to win his sexual molestation case. The Jackson trial had more twists and turns than a three-ring circus, beginning with the arraignment handled by Geragos.
Everybody remembers that moment when he jumped on the hood of the car. What were you thinking?
You know, the first thing that went through my mind was, how in the hell did this guy at this age able to jump like that?
Geragos shares anecdotes from these and other cases in his new book, Mistrial. The book makes the case that there's something deeply wrong with the fact that the U.S. prison population has quadrupled since 1980. No other country in the world has imprisoned so many of its citizens.
Your book is the case for legal reform from, if you'll forgive me, the scumbag lawyer's point of view.
Right. We got a lot of hate mail.
It was ever thus for defense lawyers.
What's your favorite legal movie?
Probably To Kill a Mockingbird.
You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view.
But my cousin Vinny is a close second as my favorite legal movie.
But something has definitely changed as the era of Gregory Peck has given way to the era of Joe Pesci.
It's your attorney here.
I am the attorney.
The notion that criminal defense is somehow a noble calling disappeared sometime around Johnny Cochran.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
The day at the L.A. Criminal Court building that O.J. Simpson beat a murder rap.
I think any reasonable person looking at our judicial system can tell that it's broken. And a lot of people would, as you do, point back to the O.J. case as an example. But as a defense lawyer, would you say that justice was done there?
Yes, I think the first case, the criminal case, I think the jury got it right.
And yet you say in the book, you believed that O.J. was guilty.
Right, but they didn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And I think the civil jury heard from him and had the additional evidence. I think they got it right.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
Geragos wasn't part of the dream team that defended Simpson, but like those lawyers, he's had to live down years of criticism from the likes of Nancy Grace.
The jury's not going to buy any of it.
Well, nobody's trying to sell it to you, Geragos.
That his job is to help people get away with murder.
There's that scene from Al Pacino and Justice for All.
My client, the Honorable Henry T. Fleming, should go right to f***ing jail. Son of a is guilty!
You ever been tempted to do that?
For different reasons.
He insists there's no one he would refuse to represent on moral grounds. But his success has given him the luxury of being able to be choosy.
You're not just their lawyer, they confess things to you. You're somebody that they come to for guidance and counseling. So it becomes a very close and unrelenting relationship.
No nerves?
No nerves.
Who's your favorite client?
I will tell you right now it's between Mike Tyson or Chris Brown. Both clients who have kind of been knocked down, vilified.
Who've knocked other people down.
In both cases. I mean, there's an irony to that.
Yeah. And when you're facing the worst,
I'm free!
Clearly, Geragos is a good man to have in your corner. I'm David Wright for Nightline in Los Angeles.